Now, our political leaders at a summit on electoral reforms have called for people-centered legislation and a greater citizen participation as the foundation for credible elections in Nigeria. Participants also urged Nigerian leaders to treat the recent invasion threat by U.S. President Donald Trump as a wake-up call to urgently address the country's growing insecurity. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
The summit, themed critical constitutional amendments for credible elections in 2027, also examined implications and partnership of Donald Trump's warning on growing insecurity in Nigeria. Keynote speakers Dr. Obiageli Ezekwesili and Professor Ikechukwu offered sharp insights connecting electoral credibility with national stability and accountability.
The insurgency in Nigeria is needed by stakeholders in the global armed trade. Are we aware of that? Those guns must be sold, those factories must keep producing. And so you find a combination of several factors, and I'll end on that by citing an incident that occurred in 2023, or thereabouts, November. Some of us were invited as guests by the multinational joint task force in N'Djamena, comprising the military of Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad, and Niger. When we got to Maiduguri, to go to N'Djamena, we had to use a helicopter. The pilots were Russians. We were flying almost at route level. Nobody fired catapult at us. There is a serious economy around the crisis.
Granting INEC its own prosecutorial unit or guaranteed access to dedicated prosecutors would ensure timely action against electoral violation. Here, I argue that codifying the use of technology for results transmission in order to make it entirely explicit would reduce the opportunities for the manipulations, massive manipulations.
Pro-democracy campaigners and political figures also shared their views on the path to reforming Nigeria's electoral system.
If you are waiting for government to make any reform, you are wasting your... Before election, there must be resistance to those who don't want proper election. If you refuse to reform voluntarily, you'll be deformed by the circumstances around. If you listen to Nigerians, we have democratized grievances.
Even as we know, these excellencies are the very people who have destroyed this country. So for goodness sake, how do we hope to make progress if we are bringing the same people who have destroyed the same country and asking them to reform the elections or to reform whatever we want them to reform?
Many good people, many people with vision, many people with ideas, many people of honor and respect can't get into the position of leadership in this country because they don't have money to share.
The Electoral Commission must be unbundled because there's too much work for the Electoral Commission. And how do we unbundle it? It must be unbundled into three places. One, the Electoral Commission, which is responsible for the election. Two, we have the Enforcement Commission. Then thirdly, we have the Delineation Commission.
It's not the fact that you go to vote on election day. It's the fact that you disengage from the process that leads to the election and the process after the election. Because election actually is a pre, during, and post effect. Because you have to participate in the laws that govern the election. You have to go out and vote and make sure your vote counts. And you have to also participate in anybody that had been announced as the elected person to make sure you put them on their toes.
While similar summits and dialogues in the past have helped shape Nigeria's leadership recruitment process, speakers noted that gaps still remain in achieving transparent, credible and inclusive elections. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.